home from work, if you can believe it. If you think working in the hotel business is easy, try being on call. I was literally on the highway. You see me do my short, guys, and I literally had to pull over at Starbucks just to help a few guests. I'm like looking tired. I didn't even get to go home yet. So I'm going to do this quick before hopefully I don't get any more calls, because some people don't realize that you need to have your ID in by a certain time, guys. When you book a room, you need to have your ID, because technically, if I followed the rules, I was supposed to cancel the reservation without a refund. And of course, I mean, I don't want that to happen. So, I try to do a solid, because I know people just don't know. And a lot of times, if you don't know, you don't know. Like, you don't know what you don't know. I've learned that in life too. A lot of people can stand to remind themselves that, right? Because we were all new at something once, or we didn't know something. And so when you do have a level of overstanding and you have some knowledge in a particular base, it's not good to be like all full of yourself, because at one point you didn't know it too, right? So I was going to share some of my notes with you guys while I even have time, some like credit tips to help you guys. I have a lot that I've actually been putting together, so my mind's always working on something. But with hotels, guys, you need to have like your ID before you check in, or they can cancel, and I didn't want that to happen. So obviously I expected the person to call later. And of course, on the highway, there goes the emergency calls. I'm like, Wonder Woman to the rescue. So I had to pull over, took the emergency call, got the person in, and then right after, someone was locked out, because it's all remote lock. So, we could talk about that sometime. It's like remote programming. And sometimes the system it just won't take the number. So sometimes we have to reprogram the code. If you notice, at some hotels now, it's just a code. So that can be a little daunting, because say for some reason it don't take, now they got to call me talking about they're locked out. So like time is of the essence. And so I had to pull over to Starbucks, take care of 2 people, and I'm still not home yet. And look at the time. So sometimes you can have a really long day. Of course, it's considered overtime, because you're doing it off the clock, but still, it's like you just want to go home and crash sometimes and not think about it too much. But I'm going to a quick appointment. Hopefully I do not get interrupted, because I need a little self-care before I go home. So I'm like, let me do some, education for you guys. I have really good notes. We're going to really go into like the truth about mortgages. Like, I've come upon like so many different case laws and references. I'm like, man, we have totally been played for a fool in this country. Hi guys, make sure you like the video when you come in. I have like a gang of people that just rolled up in here, but yeah, I don't see the like. So what's good? You guys ambushing or what? What's going on here? Hi, how are you, darling? Well, if I'm your baby, why don't I get a like? I know I got some crushes out there, but yeah, I don't see the love where I need to see it. That's the thing. So why aren't you liking my video since you love me so much? Exactly. People are fresh. And I give you guys all kind of love, giving you information. What is that? Morgan Baker. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't like answering personal questions. I'll answer it in an email. Why? What does it matter? Like, who cares, right? I know. Sometimes people can think whatever. I guess it must be like my oils are working or something on my skin. I had to have a chuckle today, because there was like this military guy. He was like all chatty. He was a good looking guy too, but I already knew where he was going with the conversation. So I was like, when I dropped the bombs on them, they like, their eyes open as if like, what the hell? Because when he said he was 26, guys, right? I was like, what am I going to do with this, right? I was like, thank you so much. Yes, Mark, I do. I am trying to quit. That's why my voice can be like that. Yes, I am trying my best. I do work out. I don't do it too much or whatever as far as the smoking, but yeah, I know, right? And it's good though, because a lot of people say I look younger than what I am, and I'm going to start saying that I look younger because I am too honest out here, and not everyone needs to know all my business, right? Because it's like I'll get over just saying, I'm freaking 35 or type shit. It's too funny. But yes, I do. Did I scare some people away? I know, exactly. That's why I don't like to overshare. It's like, who cares? Right. What brands? Newports. What else? Right? And I work in Newport. The menthol. What else? But I do it sparingly, and I try to be healthy. And you know what? It's not bad considering you should deal with, talk to people in the finance world and the legal world. They'll do like crazy stuff. It'll be like intense jobs where at least I'm not doing stronger stuff. I like my herb. I don't drink. I really don't drink like that. That's probably what keeps me looking young, because I still have like 20-something-year-olds like sniffing around. And I'm like, guy, beat it. As nice as it is, yeah. And don't come over here talking free Diddy. We're going to have to do videos. I don't do well with groomers or anything else because I've seen certain people, yeah, right? Let's light up, right? Unfortunately, us women can't get away with doing that shit online without getting judged like so harshly. So I do everything in the privacy of my own home, okay? After a long day, I unwind. I do not apologize for it, whatever. And if you work in different sectors, you can get stressed out. It's whatever. It's a, native thing too. And I detox as long as you balance it out. Because I see some people who don't, and they look like shit. Some people who do, they don't eat right. It doesn't matter. It's your genetics too. Like, I don't get caught up in that. There's no magic formula to feeling young or whatever. What is this? Do not bring those words puffed out. What does that got to do with me though? And anyone like that, I stay away from. I don't appreciate that, because that's already a problem in our society, having like dirty men being gross, and even women too. We can do videos on that. Again, that's why I don't talk to certain people, because they think it's okay to be over sexualized around younger people. So that's why I'm so weirded out that even as a grown adult, I get weirded out even if I get attention from like younger guys and stuff, because I'm already like, okay, age difference. I'm like, as though I'm flattered, because I take that shit seriously. And I've seen like, guys who thought it was okay to be in their 40s and date a 16-year-old. So yeah, none of that shit. Yes or no, please. For what? I don't know what you're asking. Oh, yeah, well, on here? Who is that? Are you 24? Is this one of the guys that I worked with? Because your name looks really familiar. And I already said, no, none of that with coworkers. I'm very, very respectful. I was going to give you some credit tips, guys. We're going to go into some law videos when I can. I try to keep it professional, just like in real life too. And sometimes people try to make it personal. And unless you're asking me out, what do you need to know my personal business, right? And if you were that concerned, my email is up, my Cash App's up, Diana-7, email dia-at yahoo.com. For those who know, they know, those who want to get to know me. But, I don't make myself the entertainment on these YouTube streets, right? So, yeah. Who says I'm fake? You think so? Yeah, only to some of the haters. How am I fake when in between work and everything else, I'm over here trying to give credit tips? No, actually, you're fake. And Gamer Pro, you call that an actual life skill. Again, you couldn't pay me enough to give some of y'all attention. Okay, exactly. These are the ones who want to know certain things about me just to act up. That's why I don't go there. I'm like, unless it has to do a specific topic, I'm not going to come on here and be goaded into saying shit because I know I got toxic grooming. We can go there, right? I can just imagine. Do you know anybody I know? I can just imagine because I've called out certain people. So they'll be like, oh, they'll try to go there. And it could be somebody that I don't care about. So that's how they got to go. And in this world, you got to know that there's a time and a place for everything, right? A lot of people come on here and they mix business and pleasure and put all this shit. That is messy. You're not going to catch me slipping. So bye-bye. Bye-bye. I know, just the fact that you have, oh, he has 31 subscribers. Oh, he joined 3 years ago. Oh, you're so cool. I know. Toxic grooming, whatever. Whatever. But anyway, I was going to give you guys some credit tips. I know some of you guys need life tips, if anything, because I try to actually talk about a certain topic. A lot of people have credit card issues. They don't realize how, maybe you don't realize how the scores are done. So I have in my notes here, like the minimum amount of credit cards one should have is 3. Okay. And the FICO score, the FICO, is for Fair Isaac Company, okay? So actually having a few credit cards and having a revolving credit score is actually more important. That is actually 40% of the entire score. And that ranks higher than late payments, mortgages, or student loans, okay? So the key here is to have 3 credit cards open at all times, but you make sure you maintain the balance at 7%. There's that 7 again. It's just already written in the stars for me to talk about whatever. So I am nothing. You can say fake all you want. I was born, my DNA spells out this stuff. I do it naturally. Some are born with it. Some got to work on it. I was born with it, and it's just easy for me to learn some things and to pass it on to you, even if it's for a few minutes. So if you think that's fake, okay, your whole existence is fake. And your whack ass channel with 31 subscribers. So I guess 1,800 people think I'm not fake. So that's great. Yes, 7 is my number 2. It's the month I was born. That comes up all the time. We know that's the number of completion, right, in the Bible. So it is what it is. I'm divinely gifted and protected, where I'm drawn to the right information, and I can give you inspiration, and I can make, I give people half my age a run for their money, where I don't even let it get to my head. So how is that fake? If I wanted to, I can indulge in a lot of stupid shit or even stupid questions, but I know when I'm being gaslit. I know, people could just be just talking out of their ass. And if I never seen you before, I've never seen you before, how do I know who you are, right? And why do you need to know my business? Again, classified, because when you know about people that are in the public eye or, come on these spaces, the less you know about the personal life, the more you respect them. When you go into your teacher's classroom, are you all in their business? That you don't need to be. You need to just keep it professional. Why are you all in my ass? All right, go elsewhere. And I got people who are bringing up Diddy and this and that. Don't worry about you know what I mean? If I'm married or not or whatever, because I can protect myself. Number 1. Number 2. I don't deal with any type of groomers, any type of whatever. I am all about supporting children and their rights and victims. We ain't going there. I've never hung in those circles. And even if I smelt people that were about that life, I got the hell away from them. And again, even family members who think certain lifestyles are okay, I'm like, we don't need to talk. We don't need to be around each other. We can be in different states. And they already know how I roll. I don't care. Because a lot of them think that they're so great because they have a house, they have this. They don't know nothing about the system or mortgage and how they're just as much of a debt slave as anyone else, if not more, because they don't even have equity in their homes like they think they do. They're just a cog in the wheel. But being able to say they're a so-called homeowner or alleged, right? Things that it can absolve all the times they were inappropriate, over sexualized, and all of that shit. So I've already called out all the freaking slam pigs, okay? You always got to shake out the family tree first, right? That's why I'm considered the black sheep. That's why I'm considered whatever. So you want to call me fake bitch, please go look in the mirror, right? Because I've already burned plenty of bridges doing the right thing and speaking up for what's right. So you don't know what you're talking about. And I hope that I gave you the will to live today, all right? Or the attention that you obviously didn't get growing up, okay? So go open up a credit card, right? Because you need to fix your credit score. There's better things to talk about. I like to go into credit secrets. I have some of my notes, a little bit of investment, banking, open up a trust, because the more you get into some of these topics, the more you're like, wow, people have no idea. And in a way, a lot of this stuff is hidden, and I can see why, not just for all the public at large, but you have to take a lot of level of studying and separating yourself from all the drama. So there's only so much of, the bad stuff that I can listen to. Obviously, you got to stay away from certain groups. Obviously, you got to protect your children. So now I know why I was so overprotective of mine growing up. Now they can see why I'm being vindicated. So the so-called real ones in the family, okay, that actually put everything on the line, actually will be vindicated. The black sheep, the whistleblowers, all of that shit. So that's why I think it's hilarious. All the stuff that's coming out now. If you go back on my channel, a lot of us was exposing some of that. A lot of the stuff that people do now are endorsing it. If you celebrate Christmas, well, back in the day, it was a bunch of orgies going on. What do you think was happening in Rome? Time to wake up, worshiping Santa Claus and Saturn. What do you think the god Saturn did to his own kids? Exactly. So who's fake if you're doing Christmas? I don't take insults lightly. I don't. Anyway, so that's your credit tip, okay? Number one. Everyone has heard cash is king. Well, however, we are in a new system where credit is king, okay? And there's going to be two monetary systems. The first is a credit digital dollar system for all U.S. citizens operating outside of a natural person. If you didn't know, a trust is a natural person. The second is precious metals for all nationals operating within a natural person, known as an express trust. So it's important to have a little bit of understanding, okay, and how the economy has changed. And let me show you, just read a little bit of other notes here that I have. You can look this up because I always give receipts. I always give my references. I jot this shit down. I'm reading and I'm summarizing the stuff that I know. So I'm giving you guys cliff notes and references. So you can look up in the 116th Congress 2D session, financial protection and assistance for America's consumers, states, businesses, and vulnerable populations act. Okay, I'll go into the different types of currency. You got precious metals, notes, bonds, certificates. Think about that when you think about all the different securities that you deal with. Okay, most people don't even know that much that you into P. Diddy's freaking, orgy fests and stuff. This is a lot of distractions, which a lot of us knew about, and we have to obviously stay away from like that, the perverts of the world. But again, you can go into it and it can become like sensationalized, right? And obviously, they only let things be known to cover up a bigger play, right? So I would look at, more of like the top, right? Because who sponsored P. Diddy? Who was the producer? Who was the investors? You got to look at that. Who raised him up, right? Who put him in that position? That should tell you everything you need to know. follow the money, as they say, right? But check this out. In 116th Congress 2D session, financial protections, it'll go into the different types of money. And now they have the digital dollar and digital wallets. But a lot of factors are played into getting your score up, and a lot of people think, oh, it's just late payments or whatever. It's actually the most important thing is to have at least a few credit cards open. They actually say the more the better. Just don't use a lot of it. Don't go over the 7% utilization factor, and that's supposed to help you. And these are little things people can do. And if you pay them off every month, we can go into different things. This is actually more helpful than using a debit card. You do get rewards. It is reported, as opposed to a debit card. They're not reporting it like that, right? So it's so important, again, you don't know what you don't know, right? And a lot of people act like they don't know what was going on in Hollywood close to Samhain or Halloween, the Witches Fest for all you secret, warlocks and witches and all that crazy shit. It goes to show, what do you think they did in ancient times to celebrate half of this stuff? How about Easter? You don't think child sacrifice was a thing? It's just modernized. They just do it in different ways. And you can be sacrificed in different ways, right? Emotionally, morally, but you could be sold out by your own family. And a lot of us, we stuck up for what's right. That's why sometimes they'll even troll some of our pages under different accounts. So that's why I always have my attitude and my will to survive, because a lot of these ghouls and goblins, they'll act like, oh, you would be lost without them, you would be nothing. I'm like, I am so much more without that shit. Like, the shit that I saw growing up still burns in my mind, okay? And how adults can let certain things fly and they try to sweep it under the rug. And you know what I mean? It is what it is. They're gonna get theirs too. And that's why it's just not even worth facing some of us, because they already know that they'll catch these hands, okay? I've seen people acting really inappropriate. Florida is a hot spot for some of this shit, probably Vegas, California, but everybody thinks, it's the place to be. There's a lot of freaking weirdos that, with their parties and their fetish factories. And a lot of people now that have their so-called kinks, it's because they were traumatized. So like, I have no patience for anybody even doing drive-bys, putting the word Diddy, free Diddy. Go free your freaking soul, okay? Because obviously it's trapped somewhere. I don't like any of that type of shit on my channel. Do not come on here vandalizing. I keep it clean. I keep it classy. And that's why I can get an attitude. And I'll still give you guys a couple of nuggets, because I know that there's actually real ones in the room. And I just pulled a freaking 10-hour day. I just did it, and I still came on here like, guys, here's a couple of things that can help you. We're going to go into different topics of, the difference between a corporation and an express trust, things like that, okay? So why it's so important to do what you do, why the whole mortgage system is a scam, and all those who think they're so much better than the next one because you have a mortgage. You are playing yourself. You have no equity like you think you do. It's not toward any type of property or anything. It's not what you think it is, and it keeps just being regurgitated, recycled. And I got the laws and the case law to prove it, and that's not in the capacity you were supposed to move in, okay? But some people, they don't need to be on that awakened path. If they want to think they have it all figured out and they have it right, and just because they never heard it, it's not real, I want them to be deceived, right? Because what does the Bible say? For they believe so much in the lie, right? They rather believe in the lie, so the Most High gave them up to their lies. Enjoy it. So when some of us try to say it, it's like, oh, and the fact that someone will even roll by here and even come close to say the word fake, you wouldn't even know what's real if it was in your face. Okay, I am just too real for some people. That's why I am like a ruby, like Proverbs 31. I do gotta hide myself, stash myself away, work on myself. That's why when I come out, it's like, oh my gosh, some people can't even believe my age. Is like, yes, it's like I've been preserved in a vault, right, for a long time, that you couldn't even tell, right? It's like, exactly. And that's how I keep it, and that's how God will keep you too. If you're around people that would put you in harm's way or give you false information, yeah, he's going to shake that tree. Even if you're not strong enough to do it, he's going to make it where he is going to separate you guys. He's going to put you in a separate class so he can work with you, so you can focus. And since then, I have been living, a clean cut life, and I've heard people go through it, and the people that stayed in those groups, in those circles, trying to chase, waterfalls, trying to chase these crack pipe dreams of stardom or whatever. Everyone thinks they're going to be an instant millionaire. Yeah, they have learned real quick that it ain't like that unless you throw some skin in the game, or if you do some foul shit. And some of them were probably willing to do it. And then all of a sudden, when they felt like being clean cut, all of a sudden they think that shit went away. Like, no, honey, some of us saw too much. We remember that shit, and it is what it is. Okay, so we stayed away from them and let them play themselves out. But I do not roll with some people. They can call me boring, they can call me whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't need to be all extra social to prove anything. Just me going out in public, getting some of the feedback I do, it's like that's enough to give me the confidence I need, and I keep it pushing. I just gotta chuckle sometimes, like, oh, thanks for the flattery, sweetheart. I'll keep it moving. And that's it. I don't need to prove myself. I don't gotta do anything extra, and neither do you guys either. So definitely. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about, it's something that a lot of people don't know, but we don't clown them for not knowing. We just let you know that, hey, there's a lot of stuff that, if you dig deep enough like gold, you will find. I try to give you laws. I try to give you a little bit of tips, anything that could help. And my day is already really busy. I take questions if you guys have any questions, anything of value, right? I know. Everybody look at Life Gamer. Let's see how real he is. So go on his channel, right? And go see how amazing he is. Because obviously you just wanted me to shout you out so bad, but I'm shouting you in a bad way, that you're a lame and you're insane, okay? And you have no game, and you to get up out of my face, okay? So that was probably the most attention you'll get all year, right? So I appreciate you guys. We are going to do some law stuff this week. Yes, we know most people in Hollywood, those guys are demonic. They are a bunch of succubuses, incubuses. They want your sexual energy. They'll do that the younger you are too. And if you have a youthful spirit, guys, I just come across having a youthful spirit sometimes. So, I mean, people will say I'm in my 20s. I'm like, yeah, whatever, like wishful thinking, right? But maybe just because I exude that, even having a level of innocence, this world will try to pollute it. And, the demon, Satan, whatever you want to call it, right? They, in different forms, will still try to steal your light. I'm not sure if that's that movie, Dr. Sleep, something like that, where they try to steal your shine. And even at, in your 40s or, whatever, right? You can have that vibrant spirit, and people are going to still, like, you know what I mean? Try to exploit it somehow, because they want to see you with like a long face all the time. Like, how there's just some people you can't smile too much around because you already know they're going to be nasty or mean, or they're going to make your day harder, kind of thing, right? So you got to be like really stern and serious with them. I got to get my bag, guys. Did I remember to bring my clothes? Yes, my change of clothes. Yeah, so they're going to be like, doing anything they can to ruin your day, because they just don't want to see you even smile. So you're going to get that. So that happens even in the smallest capacity. So never mind on a larger grand scale. But a lot of the, children's stories that we heard, You know, you got your Hansel and Gretel's and all that. You got a lot of stories where little children, where the original story was really dark, right? And they just made it more like innocent in a way, right? But we've heard this a long, long time. And again, with Hollywood, it's full of witchcraft, Egyptian inspiration. And what do they do in Egypt? They went by the Book of the Dead. They would do some really freaky stuff. And you try to show people, like, hey, they even show you in movies, like, you know, if this world didn't have evil people, why do you hear about murders and all these egregious stories? Like, and if they didn't, you know, some people will do the most. They'll do the most to stay young. They'll do the most to be famous. They'll do the most to be rich, even, right? Like, so how are you gonna say, like, you know, and you don't even know, it could be people that you know, or, and you know, how do you know what they're capable of exactly? And I know what people could be capable of, even on a lower level. So I'm just really careful if they agree with certain stuff, and I'm just like, okay, fine. I just know I can't trust them, I can't move around them, and that's it. And if I, you know, that's why when I chastise someone or when I check someone, it is for real, because I would do it to a relative, I would do it to whatever. I'm not into just fraternizing, like, oh, this is my friend or this is my whatever, so they can get over. No, I'm not like that. It's, you know, but some people have like this affinity for celebrities that they don't even know, that they don't even care. It's like, what did Sean Combs ever do for you? And now I can see why. Now you see why J-Lo never went back to Dark Eyes. Now you see why some of us couldn't go back to Dark Eyes. Okay, now you know why. Because the ones that you do meet, right, sometimes can be perverts, right? So we're like, you know what, whatever, it is what it is. But I don't treat everyone that way, right? But you can see, you know, why some people move the way they do. But I appreciate you guys, love you guys. Hopefully you guys learned something today with those credit tips. I'll talk to you soon. Stay well.